Yeah, man. So I started telling y'all about Cash. That's my dog. Y'all know that's my nigga. But I ain't tell y'all how I met this nigga. Alright, so I met him. I met him in Salinas Valley. But he was on the other. He was on the upper yards on the lower yard. Boom. He was over there with the bro, Hot Boy Sean. You know that's my dog. You know Trey's up to my days up. Um. So anyway, so I tell y'all how me and Tony get into that little mini melee with the old niggas. So I end up going to Corcoran's Shoe, where I ended up getting stabbed up by my cellie, which made me stay there longer because I was only supposed to be there, I think, like 10 months, 12 months, and shit like that. But I ended up being there like a year and a half, a year and some most change. And so boom. So prior to that, the Zillas and the Bloods, I got into it. And so when the Zillas and the Bloods get into it, the Zillas and the Bloods, the homies, we clash. We have a inner beef riot with the homies. Mad Mo from Lanes, that's my dog. You know, it's all business. And my homie Clutch from Trey's, which is Hot Boy Sean, oldest brother. They get into a little thing on the yard or whatever. But it was a big thing. It was all Sacramento against the Sacramento and the Zillas against all of the Bloods. But it really was over these Eastside Paru niggas and this Crip nigga. And they get into my niggas. Once again, another one of my niggas. Because on the yard, you know, we respect gangsters. So nigga Chaos, that's my homie. That's not my homie, he a Crip, but that's my dog. And he ended up getting into it with some Eastside Paru niggas, and then it became political, you know. And so then next you know, in order for it not to be a Blood and Crip thing, the Bloods and the Zillas and the Sacramento niggas got into a clash. The two Eastside Paru niggas, them niggas was not Zilla, but we was, you know, it's a Sacramento thing at that point. Anyway, so when we do that, so bam, the Zillas and the Bloods ain't fucking with it. So we have a meeting after that, and me, Denicio, Fab Tana, YZ, Illa, Lil Doug Wayne, we go have a meeting with the nigga Pookie from BPS and the other, you know, niggas who had say so on blood politics. What we call it on the yard, blood business. So we have a meeting with them. Then we have a fallout, Bob. So we agree on the separation. You know, the Sacramento, the Zillas is doing their own thing, and the Bloods, the homies, the B card is doing their own thing. So we had a separation for over a year. So we end up, so the Bloods end up getting into it with some Crips, and then I was at work. But then when they get into it with the Crips, they end up having a riot. I forget why, but because I wasn't out there. And so then they have a riot, Bob. So then when the Bloods and the Crips have a riot, when the Blacks have a riot, they bring everybody off the patio. If you work on the patio, they bring you off the patio and put you down on the yard. So they put me down with my homies over there. And I'm asking these niggas, like, what happened, Blood? What's going on? And the niggas like, oh, the Bloods and the Crips got into it. I'm like, what do we do? The niggas like, the Zillas ain't do shit, nigga. That was the agreed upon thing. So then, Bob, fast after that, we get off lockdown and all that shit. We program it up until the point that we have our issue. The Zillas have our issue. Once I told you, the Bloods didn't help us. So bam. So I go to the shoe. I get out the shoe. So some of the niggas that was in the riot, some of the homies, because they got the Crips got that one. So they stabbed up all a gang of homies. And so once they stab up the homies, Bob, so niggas is mad. Niggas like, why the Zillas ain't help us? We could have won had we had the help from the Zillas. And so it's like, y'all didn't want our help. Y'all told us we wasn't y'all homies. At that point, like the Zillas didn't go into the blood alley. There's a lot of things going on. And so I always wanted to talk about this anyway, based on niggas had a problem with me because I'm a Zilla. I'm a Blood, don't get me fucked up, but I'm from where I'm from, so I'm not going to go against my set for the rest of these niggas. And so then what happens is, like I said, I had 13 years. I gotta go home to my set, which I did. And so say if I would have did the wrong, say if I would have attacked some Zillas for some Bloods, I gotta deal with my homies now. Cause now I'm not a homie. I'm not a Zilla at that point. So now I'm a victim, waiting to get down. And so anyway, so bam, so I get out the shoe, and I'm buffing because I'm already knowing niggas is tripping because I'm hearing the little chatter. We in the shoe, but I'm hearing niggas like, oh yeah, the homies say that they tripping on the Zillas for that whoever was there, they tripping on Zillas for that situation. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. You know, I'm from where I'm from, and I'm always gonna put it down wherever I get off at. So I go through Cork and Shoe. I get out of Cork and Shoe, and they take me to San Luis Obispo on accident, CMC. So they put me straight in the hole. I go straight in the hole. I'm there for 7 days. They do a special committee, and they do emergency transfer. So I emergency transfer from CMC hole straight to Kern Valley State Prison. So I get to Kern Valley. So I get to Kern Valley the day before I got there. Kazh get there. So Kazh was in the Zilla at first, but then he came home through Hot Boy. So Hot Boy brought him home through so the proper channels. So Kazh is Zilla now, but I'm not knowing this at first. So I get off the bus, and then Blood shoot me a kite. He tell me, what's up, bro? He run it down to me. Whatever happened with I think Rico. I think Rico got into it with some LA niggas or some Heights niggas or something. I don't really remember because I wasn't there. So them niggas get into it with niggas, and them niggas have a riot. And once them niggas have a riot, Kazh came home. He became Zilla. Boom. So then we over there. So I write him a kite back. Like, word on the news is them niggas is tripping about the shit with the LA niggas from way back. So Blood like, why? Like, I don't know. Nigga, I don't care. But like, what we're not finna do is go out. So me and him, the only two Zillas on the yard. So boom. They got a committee, I think in like 3-4 days or some shit like that. I can't remember. So we go to committee. So I'm already in there buff because we both in single cells. At this point, I was still single cell from getting stabbed up. So I'm in there buffing right before committee because they come and tell us. So I put on my thickest thermo, come like these niggas don't try to stab me. So I put on like 3 layers of clothes. It's hot too. It's Kern Valley. If you know Kern, that's like the damn near the desert. So I got on like 3 layers of clothes just because the homies don't be playing like that. So we walk in the committee. Niggas like, what's up? Who is that? That Stacks right there? I'm like, yeah, what's up? They're like, all right, hey, homie, before you go in, come holler at us. You already know what that means. So I'm like, fuck, Blood. These niggas tripping. So Blood like, nigga, what them niggas talking about? I'm like, Blood, I think them niggas talking about that shit. Boom. So then we go to committee or whatever, and I'm like, nigga, fuck it. Like, I don't need to be single cell. I want to sell it. And so, bam, this nigga Kazh, we both go to committee. We get cleared or whatever, hit the yard. We come back, yard is already in. So I'm like, ooh, that's a pass. So then we get in there, and so once you go to committee, they try to house you fast. So they house us on the upper yard. So we go to the upper yard. This nigga named Sauce, he from Meadowview. Now I don't fuck with Blood. At that point we was trying to because he from Sac, homie, whatever. Blood, me and Blood got bad blood right now. So Sauce come to the door like, what's up with the homie? Woo woo. So I'm like, hey Blood, yeah, all that. Check it out. This was going on. And he like, oh yeah. He like, I'm gonna go holler at a few homies or whatever. Boom. I feel bad because the only other nigga I ever met from Queen Street, that was Sauce Selly. He was a little tiny nigga with glasses. I forget Blood's name though. So Sauce go around, he holler at the homies. So my homie Congo from IE, that's my homie. He know, like, we had a discussion about that shit. He was like, Blood, I ain't gonna lie, I'm hurt, Blood, because I heard you was out there and all this little shit. So instead of going like basically going out and saying like, nah, bro, I wasn't even out there. I'm like, nigga, them was my niggas, Blood. We already had to understand. We had to, like, niggas know what it was. So niggas is furious, like, nigga, I'm not turning it down. And so Blood and them like, well, Blood, that nigga I get a DP. So the niggas love me so much, my DP could have easily been stabbed because that's DPable in their eyes, because then I ain't had no homies for real. If we had the nigga 50, his name used to be, I think, like Poopy Doo or some shit from the stores, but